All right, we are live.
Are we on air?
Yep.
Are we live?
Yep.
Is this thing on?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So the goal today is we're going to get, like we were talking with Kelly, we're going to get this first round of emails out. It's basically like there's a quote that Abraham Lincoln used a lot, which was, if you give me 6 hours to chop down a tree, I will spend the first 4 sharpening the axe, which basically means like lots and lots of preparation get put into the actual action of doing of the thing, which, believe it or not, is not really what takes the most time. So the preparation for this has been, one, organizing the existing data that NextGenVest has, which was pretty disorganized and inconsistent, which will no longer be a thing now that we're going to move all this over to Salesforce. So that 2016 spreadsheet you're putting together now, we will never do that again. We're going to go straight into Salesforce, which is going to be the lifeblood of the data that we have around all the schools and the contacts that we touch base with. And what we'll see is that, like, if Salesforce is like, if you're building a house, right? Salesforce is like, it's the foundation. It's like it's the bones of it, right? Everything else is, like Mixmax is going to be built on top of that. Our own processes are going to be altered because of the information that we're collecting and analyzing within Salesforce. So first and foremost, it's all about like putting everything that we have from a contact perspective into Salesforce, right? So it's also a way that we're going to be transferring knowledge, because interns are going to come and go, right? And we want to make sure that we're not losing this institutional knowledge where it's, again, what Kelly was talking about, where it's like 1 step forward, 19 steps back, because so-and-so decided to bail because they determined that they have too heavy of a course load. All right, well, that's cool. Show me everything that this person was doing in the last like several weeks and who can pick up this ball, right? So, but yeah, we want to, like, that's another big piece to it. So let's go. We're going to kind of take like, let's see here. I had an outline of the materials I wanted to go over here. What is this? Don't download. Don't share. Calendar now. I'm trying to just clean up my screen here so when I share it with you guys, it's not an absolute disaster. So let's get into what is Salesforce. We'll start there. Sharing the screen. Great. You guys see my screen now, okay? Great, cool. I'm gonna minimize this. Okay. So email address. There's the template. Drive. Jose's email. Cool. Research. Okay, so we're just going to start really high level with what Salesforce is. We're not going to go into the deep ins and outs of it, but which we will later. But for today's exercise, you just understand how this piece is playing into all this. So right now, the state of information is this. It's this really, really disorganized, ugly, unintuitive, massive spreadsheet, which I get, like, NextGenVest all last year and the year before that, we're just optimizing for speed, and I needed to put it somewhere. And so Google Docs kind of made the most sense, right? But, which is fine. What we want to do now is this data is basically done. It tells us nothing in terms of who, like, John is relevant to, like, where he is in the process of considering booking a workshop with NextGen Best. At this point, it's really binary. It's like there's one column here that's kind of like a status bar, sort of, but doesn't give you really any insight into where they are specifically in the funnel of making the commitment to booking a workshop, right? So at the end of all this, we're just trying to book as many workshops as we possibly can, right? And we want to know how to specialize and optimize our time on those counselors that want to work with us. And so that's kind of part of what Salesforce is doing. So Salesforce, so what you have here, like looking at all these, like the workshop type, the data last contact, the notes after the call, comments, first, last name, email, city, reference universities, all that stuff here, okay? This is cool, but it's like this process of put me the date of who it was and the last date somebody emailed here manually, that's bananas. That's time that is just so easy. It's so easy to automate this with Salesforce that we don't want to be wasting time on things like that we can automate, right? Because that's one of the core values: anticipate, automate, and act. So what we do is, instead of doing the spreadsheet, everything is going to exist in Salesforce. It's going to exist under accounts, which are schools. It's going to exist under contacts, which are people that are like a Rolodex, like a phone book for within those schools. And then we're gonna break it out by all the potential opportunities that are out there per contact, per school. And then we'll have these other side things which are not built out yet, but it's reports and dashboards to show you things like how many emails were sent out today by George, by Erica, right? Like, we want to be able to understand this, because this is like, when you think about what you guys are doing, you guys are like, your function determines the city growth, right? Like, if there is a low amount of activity in a particular city, we can anticipate a low user growth rate as a result. I mean, the information we're pumping into Salesforce is going to give us the ability to give us that visibility to like the canary in the coal mine, to show us before that even happens. So, for example, if we took, one of these records here, let's see, I don't think I have Chicago put in yet, but if we put, like any one of these records, here's an example of how we do it in Salesforce. So if you wanted to look up a high school, or let's just say Ryan O'Connor, let's say I'm a guidance counselor. Here is now all my information. George, did I lose you, buddy? George?
I'm right here, sorry. I just turned off my camera.
All right, cool. It's really important that you understand this. So I have no mechanism of understanding whether or not you're looking at this yet. So just make sure that like you're paying attention here. So you see like this record that's up here, Ryan O'Connor, right? This is an imaginary contact. It's me. And what I've done, as you can see here, is I put in details like the name, like the high school that I'm associated with, what my title is, what we're going to call, we'll go through on Monday, a very specific category of title. Like, am I an avid teacher? Am I a college advisor? Am I a counselor, an embarked teacher, whatever it is? And then all that's it's gonna get associated with, you can see all these activities. These are all because I've been testing with Mixmax. You can see like the emails that I've opened, the emails that I've replied to, all the emails that I've clicked. Like, it's all put into a very clean, centralized database that's been automated. I didn't have to input any of these emails. They were just automatically logged for me because I use Mixmax, right? And so this is part of the, like, again, part of that anticipate, the automate, the act is where we want to get to a point where we don't want to be wasting time on things that we can automate, right? Because time has what's called an opportunity cost to it. Do you know what opportunity cost is? George, what's opportunity cost?
Opportunity cost. That's like, for example, we lose a chance to actually do something that we want to do. So like, we lose the opportunity to get a workshop in that school.
Well, kind of, sort of. Yeah, opportunity cost is like, I'm spending my time doing this task that I can automate at the expense of doing a different task that would lead it's a higher effective task, like calling the guidance counselor. Like there's an opportunity cost. Like we're all making trade-offs with our time, right? Like the opportunity cost for me, like, you know, walking you through Salesforce, you know, an opportunity cost is like I don't get to walk with my dog. But in terms of like how valuable walking my dog is right now, it's not as valuable. But that's what we talk in terms of opportunity cost. Everything is at an exchange for doing something else. And like when we say something has a high opportunity cost, it means that this is a task that really honestly is costing us a lot, because we could literally be doing anything else and it would still be better than doing this. Like logging in emails manually when someone last contacted a counselor. So that's part of the thing that's going to be automated here. When it comes to the like back to the fall research, it says, you know, we have the financial aid workshop booked. That's really the end result what we're trying to get here. But there's so many steps in between that process, and we have no visibility into where they are in that process. And so that's where Salesforce comes in, where you have like, we have our contacts and we have our activities for our contacts and we have the accounts. So like if this account, Princeton High School, has multiple contacts, like here I am, here Kelly is, this is all made up, right? I can see like an account-based view, like all the activity that's ever gotten done in the school ever. And I can log other things manually as I need to. I want to understand like what opportunities are currently going on at the account level. And that's where Salesforce really shines, because we can create new workshop opportunities and say, okay, Princeton High School is interested in doing a FAFSA workshop. So great, we're going to put in a FAFSA workshop. They're also interested in the college kickoff workshop. That's great. Here's information around student attendance, what we can expect, wow points that we can expect, what the booking date's going to be, like you know what. And so this is this shows us the various things they want to partner with us on, and it shows us the stages that they are in. So for example, if you touch base, and we'll go deeper into this later, but I just want you to have like the high level view. We'll spend we'll spend an hour or two on Salesforce on Monday. But like being able to say like this guidance counselor, we are in the process of qualifying them to see if they even want to work with us. And so in that qualifying phase, which we have broken out here, we can answer questions like, am I cleared with the DOE? Like, do I need to deal with the Department of Education? Yes or no? No? Great, I'm cleared. Awesome. Is there a strong need? Like, does the guidance counselor believe that having a FAFSA workshop is extremely urgent to their students? Yes? Great, cool, move on. Is the timing good? Yes, cool, great, move on. So you can sort of see as you save these things, we'll call this FAFSA. Hold on. So as you save these things, you can start to you get a full picture. Oh, close date.
I just have one quick question about these.
Just pause. Get through the thought real quick. So okay. when we save this, we've now got a more complete record of the high school and of the teachers that are involved in it. So it's you know, so when we take a step back and look back at PHS, now you see the records updated where it's like we've got our contacts, you know, imaginary, me and Kelly, and then we have the workshop that it's in. And so this way you can go back and see the history, like what was the last email that was sent regarding this opportunity, right? So you can just keep picking up the ball as you're juggling all these accounts. Because if you're going after, you know, hundreds of people at a time, you just simply, your brain doesn't have the capacity to manage all that information. So that's what Salesforce does for you. It's that tool that like all of your responses, all of the upcoming potential workshops you're pitching them on, like the status of those bookings are all stored here in a very systematic way so that you can run a report to say, okay, show me all of my open opportunities. Show me all of the teachers that I'm actively working on workshops with. Like, who do I have to call today? And it just helps you to better automate your day and better prioritize what you need to do so that you're not doing low value activities at the cost of high value activities. Does that make sense?
Yes.
What's your question, my man?
Okay. So if the three of us are going to be inputting this data for workshop opportunities, am I able to access, for example, what Madeline and Erica are doing? Or is it all shared into like one common, let's say, database?
Right. So that's a great question. So NextGenVest is what their Salesforce instance is, one giant common shared database, right? So, but every user has a certain level of permissions. So you can see here, George, right? Like you are the account owner. You're the person who owns the relationship at Princeton High School and all of the people within it, right? So you can change this. So when we have other users, so we get Erica's account up and running and the other girl's account up and running, if we decide that we're going to make Erica in charge of Princeton High School because we decided that, you know, she's just going to handle all of the Northeast. And so like that's like going to be her quote unquote territory. So we're just going to assign that. So then Erica can jump in and see, okay, cool. Here are all these activities. Awesome. And like, who did these activities? Jorge did these activities. Phenomenal. Great. If I got a question, I know who I got to ask, right? So it's a great way. So as interns leave, or as people change jobs or whatever happens to be, and people take over this role, that they can just jump in and say, okay, here's the record on PHS. Like, and by the way, it's a hell of a lot easier than going back into this crazy Google Doc and you know what I mean, and trying to like, you know, it's like trying to read Sanskrit here. Like, it's like, what do they mean by this? Like it's here. It's in the actual Salesforce database. Do I want to see the email? Cool. Like, let me go in there and see the email. This is great. Here's the last email. It was sent to George. It was sent from Ryan O'Connor, right? So I wrote to George, here's my response to an email not in a sequence, blah, blah, blah. So it's easy for the person who grabs the baton to go in there and see very clearly, okay, this person was last contacted a week ago. This, like the person who left, who's supposed to be in charge of this, own this account, is gone. We need to get on the phone with this person now because they're expecting more information on the FAFSA. Like, you see what I'm saying? And it's great because you can just run reports, create these reports that enable you to quickly find this information. So we can create a report called, like, you know, that's basically based around when somebody at NextGenVest leaves. Okay, let's run a report on all of their open opportunities, like transfer this knowledge to somebody else, get them in touch with the guidance counselors, make sure no balls are dropped, so no workshops get dropped, so NextGenVest doesn't take a hit to its brand equity, so we keep up our trustworthiness, et cetera, et cetera. So you see how like this thing has massive potential to really keep the NextGenVest team in line, right?
Yes. So I can say with confidence that about 20% of the schools don't like their faculty's contact information, like an email, and they refer us to their website where we fill out a form. How would that work?
Wait, say that again.
Okay. Let's say, for example, America.
No, you just cut out. Just say what you said before.
Okay. So
20% what?
Okay, 20% of schools, like the offices, do not share their contact information of a teacher with anyone over the phone or in person, and they refer us to a form on their website where you can fill out a request for information. How would that be accounted for in Salesforce? Like, is there any way to keep records of that?
Yeah, sure. So so let's just say you called up PHS and you know that Ryan O'Connor is the guy you got to talk to, right? And you're saying, hey, I'd like to talk to Mr. O'Connor. You know, can I get through? No, we don't put you through. If you want information, fill out this form online. Okay, thank you very much. So you can go in here and you can say something like, we can generate an auto-generated task for this. But right now, what you can just do is you can say, okay, I want to create a new task. And that task is called fill a form. And then it's to who this, great, was directed to fill an online form. Due date today, cool, try to normal, status completed, great, cool, save. So then in the activity history, fill out a form. There it is. George filled out the form. You can get fancier too if you want. Like we could even say like the protocol for this. And if we find that this is happening 20% of the time, then we should figure out how to automate this. So like, for example, we could say like, we could have a box here that just says like insert form link here, like, or form URL here, right? And this way, like you have record of, you know, where, what the URL you put in. Candidly, most times when people send you to a form, it's a polite way of them telling you to screw off. So like, do you get any responses when you fill out forms?
Yeah, usually I do. That's why I don't really give up on that.
Then great. Then enter it as a task. So what we could do is then, so what you'll see here, so one of the things in order back to the idea of automate, anticipate, and act, right? So hearing your process and how you guys work, I built buttons to automate your most routine tasks. So things like, okay, I'm going to call Mr. O'Connor directly. I'm going to call, I've got 3 different versions here. I can call, I connected, I can call, I left no message, I can call, I left a voicemail. So I select this, call no message, and it will say, automatically fill for me the subject line, the name of the contact, the due date, that it's completed, who it was done by, right? And then all I have to do is hit save. And then it's here in this activity, Ryan called, or Jorge called, left no message for Ryan at this date and time, right? And then you can say like, you can go, okay, I went into school to visit this specific teacher and my access was denied. Okay, teacher visit denied. Click that, same thing. School visit denied by Ryan O'Connor related to this workshop opportunity. I wanted to talk to them about the FAFSA 101. Cool, save, go. Awesome. So now I got school visit denied. Now let's say, because you have different types of calls, right? You have calls to teachers directly, you have calls to the schools directly. And so if we take a step back and let's say like we go to Princeton High School, right? The buttons are slightly different. Now it's instead of teacher visit denied, it's school visit denied. So if you're just showing up to the school and just trying to find somebody, right? You don't really know who the right contact is. You have the ability to log that here as well, which is just slightly different. But again, what all this does is by getting as specific as we can on the action and setting the data correctly in place at the foundation enables us to run reports like you know, how many, like, is meeting the teacher in person better than just going kind of blindly into the school looking for the right point of contact? How many in-person visits does it take to go and like and book a workshop? Right, like all this stuff gets done here, where it's like, because it's all related to this opportunity, right? We're tackling, we're pegging it back to this FAFSA 101 that we're trying to get this booked. So it's like, okay, I did a school visit, was denied access for this school. Okay, cool. I don't have a contact here because it was a school visit, not a contact visit. And so we should probably have a related opportunity here. So as I'm going through this, I just want to make sure that we're doing this. Okay, cool. So then it's you save it and you move on. But you see how all these this is just automated, right? It's just super easy as opposed to going back into this stupid spreadsheet and like putting a new update. Which, by the way, like once you write this, you've overwritten all the previous history. Like you have no sense of like, has this school been touched once or has it been touched 20 times? Like, so what we want to understand is we want to understand like how many times on average do I gotta go to a school, like call it, email it, and visit it before I get somebody's attention? This is not telling you that, but this does, because I'm starting to build this library of activity history where I really get a sense of like, okay, it on average takes like 10 touches to actually like get a workshop booked. It's probably gonna be much, much lower than that, but that's what we're trying to hone in. So when we add to this team, right? When we build out our, like, you know, when we add more Ericas, we want to be able, like, when the new Erica comes in, Erica, first of all, you're irreplaceable. Know that about yourself. But it's like, It's like we want to be able to hand them a playbook that says, this is how it gets done. Like, this is foolproof. Like, if you follow this, you will expect to book X amount of workshops, which when we're talking about like the compensation model that we're using, which is like we'll eventually move towards like really driving home, incentivizing, booking as many workshops as we can. We want to give everybody the tools so that they can they know how to hit their number. They know how to make their money predictably. So it's not like kind of in the air and it feels a little weird. Like, I don't know if this is going to work or not. Like, we want to build you the process. It's people, it's product, and it's process. Those are the three things every business needs to be really, really killer. And we're working on the process piece right now. So that's kind of the high level Salesforce overview. George, I'm going to put a pin on that, like filled out a form button, because we want to automate, right? And if that's 20% of what you're doing, I don't want you to have to keep manually recreating that task. I just want you to like hit a button, right? So, okay. So that's kind of high level Salesforce. But what you're going to see here, so going back a bit, like let's just say to the contacts phase, go back to my record here. All of these fields, name, account name, title category, email, direct phone, mobile, all that stuff. Like, these are all variables. And so the way I got all this information, if we go into contacts and we just say like, here's 387 contacts that I imported yesterday for the purposes of launching this email, okay? The way I got this information in was I had to map these variables up here, first name, last name, email, city, school, blah, 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 to these fields, first name, last name, title, email. See what I'm saying? So when the variables are off, like if these don't match what's in here, it gets really tricky to upload the data. It becomes a bit of a dance. It's actually a royal pain in the neck. And so so I spent a couple of hours last night just getting these 400 done. But the idea is like back to axe sharpening, laying down the groundwork, right? We're getting all this cleaned up so that we can then go into our mix-max templates. And when we're in our sequences, we've got all these matching variables here so that these are pulling from this, which was pulled from this. You see how we've connected the dots here, right? And in this process, we're trying to clean this data up as neatly as possible so that we don't have to ever deal with this crap ever again, because this is a nightmare and should never be done. So going forward, all new contacts, all new accounts will be inputted manually this way first, right? So you come across a new school, we're going to go into the school section, and we're going to hit new, and we're going to go in and we're going to fill out all the information. Then we're going to save it. And then we're going to find the contacts in those schools, and then we're going to save all that. And then those names, as they're generated, are going to get yanked into a report that get pulled in the mix-max that we go then and touch. Does that make sense? So that's kind of what we're doing here. So that was a long way to show you kind of how we get prepared for this mix-max sequence. So, Erica, do you have any questions? This is just so you guys are like clear. What I'm training you on is stuff that like we train professional sales teams at like Fortune 500 companies at. Like this is like you guys are getting like this is a skill set that's like done by most full-grown adults with like a few years of working experience. So it is totally fine, in fact, expected that you have questions. So don't hold back. There's no such thing as a dumb question. I want to make sure you guys feel good about getting this right so that we don't get errors down the road.
Is there a way to just like have unlimited list? Unlimited list. I can see you do one school at a time, and then you have to like save, and then it'll load again. Then you have to keep clicking new school, probably like hundreds of times. Is there a way to just like do them all at once and then submit them all?
Yeah, so that's what we're doing now with this list here. So so this is like, I'm importing all these into Salesforce through a bulk upload. But this list was created one record at a time, right? Like you didn't pull this from anywhere. This was students just going in and doing what George was doing last night, which was like that 2017 spreadsheet of all these schools, right? And it's like, all right, cool. Instead of doing it in the spreadsheet, just do it, plug it directly into Salesforce. So part of my job is taking this unsightly thing, trying to clean it up as best as I can to get it into here so that we can get it into here so that it's like now we're active, like we're automating our outreach, right? So that's if that makes sense.
Yeah. Would we have to download Salesforce on each of our laptops? Because I was looking at it and there wasn't like a free trial or download now like Mixmax for Salesforce.
Right.
It would like sign up. I'm like, I don't want to sign up.
Right. Yeah. So everything is everything is cloud based. So you're not downloading anything. So the Salesforce, we bought licenses. So I will like assign you a license, and so the other girl, I'll assign her a license too, and so all of you guys will have licenses to Salesforce, and Mixmax is like you download it, and you were there yesterday with George, and you kind of saw the basics, and you got the blog posts and everything like that to read and check out. So that's like. You can play with it too. You can also like send your school email address via Mixmax, like just play around with stuff. But yeah, that's how we're gonna get you set up. Cool. All right, so let us. Oh, we got a. I'm working right now. I don't know what that is. I'm working. No clue what that means. Okay, so we are now in. So we're now in Mixmax, and we are going to. So we're going like back to the overview of what Mixmax is. This is like what we'll call like a sales acceleration tool, and it's about being able to fire off emails fast. It's about being able to templatize responses. It's about being able to put together sequences of multiple emails across a time series that are automatic so that you guys don't have to do that. It also gives you the ability to set reminders of for anybody who's outside of a sequence, when you're dealing with them one-on-one, say they respond, like if they respond to an email in a sequence, they get pulled out of that sequence. And so like you're now dealing with them one-on-one. You can set reminders if they don't respond, that kind of fun stuff. Use polls, that kind of thing. So for the purposes of what we're doing, what we're going to be doing today, we are going to be launching a new sequence. So a sequence can be sent to a single individual, or it can be mass emailed. And today, we're going to be mass emailing a sequence that has just one template in it. So it's a little bit different. Usually a sequence would have multiple emails in it. So Erica, I think I showed you the example with George the other day where like I had sequences with 6 emails, 6 stages in it, and they would go off automatically if there was no response to an email. That's how sequences work. So like say you're trying to get somebody's attention and you say, all right, I'm gonna tap them on the shoulder 4 times before giving up on them. What a sequence enables you to do is set the dates and times for those 4 emails, when those emails are going to go out, and what's going to be in those emails. And they'll roll out automatically unless the person on the other end responds. So if you have, say, like a 4 email sequence, like, it's going to email them Monday and, Wednesday and Friday and Sunday. If they email you back on the second day, on Wednesday, they will not get the following emails. They'll be removed from the sequence. They'll be marked as a reply to the sequence, and now you're dealing with them one-on-one. What we're doing here is a little different, because what we're saying is we're going to create a sequence basically of 1 email. There's going to be no follow-ups here. It's really more of like a mass email merge, but in the future we'll be sending sequences with multiple touch points in it. Does that make sense? Yes? You good, Erica?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. George, thumbs up. Sweet. All right, cool. So let's get this started. So first, we're going to go into our sequences tab. And we're going to see it's pretty light. So let's just delete this. I don't think we have any templates here. So we're going to call this new sequence. Title, we'll call it FAFSA plus pizza. We'll date it so we know the date it came out on, 23rd. Now it's going to ask me, who are you going to send this item to? I can import it from Salesforce, contact list, or a CSV. We're always going to be importing it from Salesforce. I will show you how to create these lists, but at a later date, because right now we're just going to try to get this out, but I'll show you how to do this later. So this means what you have to do is you have to make sure that in Salesforce, you have a list that's ready to go that we can upload here. So what you're going to notice is when you hover over Salesforce, it's going to give you the option. Do you want to send this to all contacts in the database? Just my contacts, recently viewed contacts? I created a separate list called West Coast contacts. I created a Princeton High School test, open leads, recently viewed, today's leads, back to school, FAFSA, July 23rd. Cool. So I've created this list especially for this particular outreach. But what we're going to do is we're just going to use just for testing purposes, we're just going to use the Princeton High School, this list, which is just myself and Kelly. So when I select that, you're going to see that all this stuff is pre-populated, right? So the email, the last name, the first name, the salutation, which I manually inputted. Anything in red does not yet exist in Salesforce. The business phone, the title, the department, all that stuff. Okay, cool. So next I'm going to go to edit stages. So stages are what we talked about, like a stage is a date, a time, and a template, right? So let's go into editing stages. So stage 1, action, send an email. Send it now, or we can send it in the future at a specific time, right? So if we go back to Kelly's template, right? FAFSA, pizza plus workshop. We know these are the templates that she wants. This is how she wants things to look. Okay, cool. So we're going to copy all this. Copy. We're going to go into sequences. We're going to go in, and we're going to paste. So one of the things I'm worried about is the formatting. We'll see how that works. So I wanted to read first name, so I want to make sure that this variable is right. So I go up here and I see first name. Cool, great, that's in. I think I gotta alter this font. This font looks a little funky when I copy and paste it. It looks a little big. So I'm just gonna go back into here and make sure that it's standard. Make sure that the text size is normal. Right. Yeah, see, it was a little funky. So make that so it looks nice and normal. Great, cool. Hi, my name is, let's insert this. So we can say sender first name. Great. And I'm a current college student, money mentor, next to invest. Great, financial. I'm reaching out to see if you'd like to host a free, this is what your students do. Would you like me to send you more information on your FAFSA? Talk soon. And then signed, and we'll say sender first name. Cool. What's the subject line going to be? Subject line is FAFSA plus pizza workshop. That's great. So back to the trust and authenticity thing here. Whenever you're copying and pasting, I'm going to be the one handling the sequence building for now, just because it's like it's really important this not get screwed up, like from just like a formatting perspective. Then you guys will access the sequences and the templates in your own accounts and send them out as you would. But I'm double checking to make sure things like the font all look good, so we're not like, we're not breaking any trustworthy issues. So okay, cool. This is it. This is all like what we're doing. We could add another stage. So another stage might be, hey, if stage 1 is not replied, right, in 3 days, then send this email, and that email could say, hey, first name, just checking in, right? And then sender name. So you see how this kind of works, right? Where it's like, it's automatically in 3 days, if this is not replied, it's automatically bumped. So I don't have to waste brain space sending this inbox bump. So it's, instead of like the effort it would take to send, the effort it would take to send 1 email, I can now send 2, right? So back to this, like this automate, anticipate, act thing, right? So, but we're not going to do that in this sequence because this is just hey, a welcome, we're back. We will in the future launch a multiple touch sequence with more variables in it that we'll be using. So let's go and say, so that's good. If you want to see what it's going to look like, preview it. Let's look over mine. So let's just say this is going to go out to Ryan. Hey, Ryan, my name is George, and I'm a current college student. Well, you see how that worked? All the variables automatically populated. Beautiful, right? This is exactly what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to look exactly like this, right? So and if I go to Kelly's, it's like, hey, Kelly, my name is George, and and on and on and on and on, right? So if I want to edit it, all recipients, I could say, because right now it's just first name, I could just say, hi there, Kelly, first name. So let's go back to Kelly, take a look. Hi there, see what I mean? So this is what we're talking about, like when we're automating, like how we're doing this. And these variables that we're pulling from are all associated with the fields in Salesforce, right? That's what we're trying to achieve here. We're trying to make sure that all the data points that we can ping here, we can pull from the CRM to pull into Mixmax to send off this sequence, right? So previewing it for Ryan. Hi there, Ryan. My name is George, and I'm a current student and well-trained money mentor. Great. It looks and feels just exactly like this outreach. Talk soon. Cool. And then we can fix the signature, and we'll do that later. But that's literally all there is to this. It's just like now we've gotten this done, I can hit send and it will automatically send this out to me. So let's do that, right? So let's delete this stage since we're not doing another stage. Come on, buddy. Delete that stage. If stage 1 is okay, why isn't the delete button working?
Try doing that in the all recipients tab. Maybe it's just since you're in the preview.
Oh, good call, Erica. Look at the big brain on Erica. Yay! Figured it out.
I told you I dated someone one level up to me.
That's what you got to do, man.
Now a couple levels. It's okay, sweetie. I love you.
All levels. So, thank you, Erica. It was super helpful. So let's just say here, like, I'll show you if we added in all of these, like let's say salutation, title, last name, right? So if we went over to Kelly, it would pull over Miss Title Peeler. See, the reason here, and this is why all the data has to be in Salesforce, because if it's not, then it's going to pop up this empty blank space, and that is a serious problem. Because this is why, like, having all the data here is super important, because if we start putting in sequences that leverage those fields and they're not in them, then we're going to send a crappy email that looks like this. And that's going to get thrown right in the garbage, right? So right now we're doing a sequence that we know we have the information for. And so we can move on, right? So let's make sure that of the variables that we need to have first name in there at the very, very least. That's the only variable that we're using. It's just first name, right? We're not using last name. We're not using salutation. So let's go look up our lists. So back to school FAFSA. So I already created a list here. What I did was, here is, you guys see this okay? It's cool? All right, let's see if I can blow it up a little bit. Is that better? Is that helpful? Cool. So I'm calling this, it's basically, it's a view, because what we learned is that when it comes to adding recipients, I want to be able to pull all this stuff directly from Salesforce. And here is that list that we're working on right now. I've already done this previously, so that's why it populates here. But so we want to make sure that we've got all the right people that we need in this list, right? So, for example, if we were customizing a sequence, and one of the things we mentioned in the sequence was the Dallas Cowboys. Let's say, hey, like how about them Cowboys, right? We want to make sure, bear with me, Erica, bear with me. I see that face on you. I see it. I feel your judgment. I feel it. I don't like it, but I feel it. But this is just emphasizing a point here where it's like these lists, you have to be mindful of how you're creating this list. And I will be doing this initially, but like you have to be mindful of how you're creating these lists, because let's just say you are making a reference to the local sports team and it happens to be the Dallas Cowboys. What you want to make sure that this list is doing is that it's pulling only residents of Dallas, right? You don't want to mass email everybody, because it's like this joke is going to fall flat on everybody else who doesn't live in Dallas and doesn't root for the Cowboys. So when Kelly told me, okay, we're going after West Coast schools first, like we could do that here where it's like, all right, give me a list of only those who have West Coast schools. I also put this list together where because there were so many holes in the data, like things like people's first names had Mr. or Mrs. in it. And so you can imagine in that templated version, it would be really, really bad if their first name was, hey, Mrs., right? Like that's like a 19 steps back, like you're toast, you're getting deleted, you're getting marked as spam, right? And it's really, really important that we don't get marked as spam. We get marked as spam, like our account is screwed. So that's why it's like really, really important that we take the 4 hours to sharpen the axe to make sure that we're feeling good, measuring twice, cutting once, and then going off the market. Because when I show you how fast it is to send this shit off, it's gonna blow your mind. It's like, but the preparation needs to get done. So this list excludes first name. So I want first names that do not contain Mr., Mrs., Doctor, whatever. On a created date, this is just so I could pull up all the recent names that I created. Email. Some of the emails are wrong in the list that we uploaded. Like they're just straight up wrong. And I didn't have time to sort through 400 emails and see which ones were right or wrong. So there are some that just don't exist. They don't have an email in there. So the email must contain at least an @ sign. And this way I know that it's not gonna pull in any blank emails and just screw up the system. So selected the fields I want imported. Again, these are the fields that we had imported that were going in the Mixmax. So the account name, the salutation, the blah, 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 right? And so save as, cool. So, and then what it's doing is it's gonna run it. And it's gonna show me all these people. So this is great. So we've got 387. Our max is 300. So we'll chop it down. But what we now have to do is we have to go through this and make sure that everybody's first name and everybody's email address are looking good, because those are the only two variables that we need right now to get this out. If we were doing a more complex outreach that like mentioned their title, that needed their phone number, we'd be screwed because we'd be manually importing all that for all like 387 of them. But for the sake of speed, without relieving trustworthiness, we're going with the first name. And so all I need is their email address to import and then their first name. So are the first names here looking good? Look at this. Mr. Green. Nope. Sorry, buddy. So we're going to delete you. Bon voyage. Keeping a lookout for bad first names. Making sure email addresses are in there. Here's another one.
Once we make priority contact, are they deleted completely from our data?
No, they're just being removed from this list.
Okay.
Yeah, so we can go back and then clean it up. But I don't know what that dude's first name is. And I don't want to waste my time right now searching the bowels of the internet to try to find it when I need to get out like 300 emails in the next like 10 minutes, right?
Yeah, so like Trisha Sutherland, would we be able to keep that since it has her full name?
Right, so that's another one. Good look on this dude, right? So why don't we, since we have her full name, why don't we just edit it? So let's say edit. Trisha Sutherland. Delete that. Right? Now, while we're here, we might as well just say miss, because we know we want that information eventually, right? We don't know our category. We don't know anything else. So we'll just say, okay, cool, fine. Save. And now we're back to this view, right? So this is what we're doing. Now, we don't even have account names for some of these people. Like, we don't even know what schools that they're in. But we don't need that yet because that's not what we're doing yet, right? So let's see here, going through.
And besides, like, even if we don't have what school they go to, as long as we have their first name and email, if they respond to us, they usually have a signature where it shows like their contact, where they teach at or whatever.
Exactly, bingo, right? So that's why we're still moving forward with this, because that template that we're sending out doesn't pull a variable for the school, so we can keep them in this list. But that's why back to like why the data is so important, like why it's the foundation. You can see how important it is to make sure that one, it's organized, and two, that it's clean and correct, right? Because then we can create templates and sequences all day long. We don't have to go back and do this like data cleaning. So
Okay.
we're going to need interns ripping through every single contact and updating the records accurately. Like we're just going to need that to be a thing. We're going to put a pin in that, but for right now, that's what we're doing. So Maria, so this is the right information, but it's all caps, right? And we can't have a, hey, Myra, all caps, because that looks super spammy, right? So back to editing.
All right. Another thing that I can actually run through really quickly, because I found this really awesome add-on for Google Sheets. It's called Change Case. So you can literally like click the entire document and change everything to be the first letter of every word capitalized. So it deletes all that all caps nonsense throughout the entire document.
Cool. So going through, anything else? Anybody else sticking out? Anybody else sticking out? Nobody's sticking out. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next. Oh, boom. E-Jane. Like, what is this even? So what do we do here? Do we go with E or do we go with Jane? Or do we just delete it and come back to it? I think we delete it and we come back to it. We don't have the time to mess with it. Same thing with this guy here, Miss Taylor. See again, no first name, Miss Taylor is the last name. Like whoever inputted that information should be flogged. So we have to go, we'll just delete her from the list. Okay.
Before you yell at Miami, let me go check that.
Okay. Well, it's already uploaded. So Miami isn't in this initial list. The initial cities that are in this list are the West Coast cities because that's what she asked for. So Via Gomez. So what is this here? Oh, because she had she have a tilde in her name.
Yeah, that must be it.
So let's just edit this. Make sure.
Yeah, whenever there's an accent, they do some weird symbols.
Yeah. Is that a hyphen name, you think? Like Via Gomez, like Via hyphen Gomez, or?
Let me see it. I would say it's a hyphen. Yeah, that's a hyphenated name.
That's a hyphen name?
Yeah.
Right. You see, like, why this process is so important to do?
Yep.
It's all about building trustworthiness, right? So let's see, go back. Or else. And the email's looking funky. This is all looking. Miss Stacy, counselor. See ya. Bye. See ya. Bye.
And just one quick question. Maybe we can put a pin on it for later. But if this is what the CTs have to do, do you think they have the time to be micromanaging the OLs?
No, OL should be responsible enough to, I mean, what does managing the OLs mean?
Aside from booking their workshops. Oh, wait, no, we can send reminders. Never mind. That's irrelevant.
Yeah, well, the idea I would imagine is that like once you've got it booked, the OL or the financial aid workshop leader, as we're calling them now, is added onto the thread. There's an invite sent, and
yeah, that's fine. I just forgot about that part for a second. Let me write it down so I don't forget and bug you about that. Oh, hey, I found my passport.
There we go. Great. So you can see here, like, Stuff like this. This guy, Philip, what gym with a principal in parentheses? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
So we're literally, this is what's called data scrubbing. It's highly tedious, and it needs to be delegated out to another team. Candidly, like I would offer up like having some short like intern project that just rock and rolls on this.
Yeah, I could just get the files that we have ready, and maybe offer them like, I don't know. Would you feel like $10 per sheet cleaned or $10 an hour?
I mean, I think it should be based on. I mean, I'm fine with an hourly rate. I think the $10 an hour for the data cleaning is great. If we can get them to do it and just get them like salutations, that kind of thing, like inputted, get the natural language of the high school, put in there. I think Paramjot and I were talking about this too, so I can get that, put that on her plate. So Ms. Denver.
All right. Assign interns. Alka, quick question. For training purposes, it's only Brittany that's actually reaching out to students and telling them about the payment processes, right?
What?
Okay, remember how yesterday Brittany just found out about the whole no city captains, no OLs? Yeah. Is she the only one that deals with that, or Pramjot would also?
Paramjot should have been in charge of anyone who applied as an OL or CC.
Okay, so I'll just remind her to get rid of those titles. All right.
But yeah, ideally Brittany's only for money mentor training.
Yeah, I know she only trains them, but she does like.
I mean, she could do the intro training. Or
yeah, she does intro. Because Pramjot normally uses certifications. Okay,
yeah.
I'll just write Pramjot then. Pramjot to alter applications. That means I have to reach out to Celine for postings. Reach out to Celine to edit postings. No, high school interns don't do that. They're not active. Oof. That's a big project for Celine. Celine has to fix all the postings.
Yeah.
I mean, if we use Handshake, it's one common post. So if she fixes one, she fixes all of them. What happened?
Nothing.
It was pronounced.
Yeah. It's killing me.
I mean, that's a nice note.
Yeah, it's a nice note, but it should be in the notes section and not in the fucking name section. It's like literally killing me. Killing me, Smalls. Killing me. Okay. So this looks like we're good. Okay.
And once the sheet's clean, you go into Mixmax, pick out the template or sequence, and then you just like import this specific list of contacts.
Yeah, exactly. So like what we're gonna do is
oh, you can even add it to Mixmax sequence.
yeah, see that? You can add it right there to the Mixmax sequence. Yeah, see, again, automating all this. Right? That's what we're looking to do. That's what we want to do. So what happens? Let's see what happens when we hit this. So let's make sure we got our sequence set up. We have a sequence title. So the sequence, let's see here. I want to make sure that we're not double dipping. Okay, so new sequence. We deleted that last one. We're going to call this pasta plus pizza party. We're going to call this July 23rd. Great, cool. I want to import this from Salesforce. Make sure we got all this done. So, great. This is looking good. So there's more than one way to skin a cat, basically, on Mixmax and Salesforce. So you'll find that the way I'm doing it, it's like there are other ways, like that button of just importing it into a sequence. But I want you to see, I want to break it open first so you can see how it's working. So do we agree on it, Jorge? Do we agree on your signature, what that's going to be?
All right, let's see. National Treasure Super Partnerships. Okay.
Weren't you gonna include that the 10-question link thing?
I think we're doing that, yeah, but
After?
linking to a blog.
Yeah, the Meet Me.
But that's not ready.
Has a TED Talk.
It's not ready. I honestly just got a Google Doc and I plastered it all on there.
Okay.
All right, it's not ready yet. So this is going to be the signature?
For now, yeah.
For now, all right, cool.
That's perfectly fine.
Great. So let's go to, great. Okay. So we're going to build this sequence.
So what is the difference between a sequence and a template?
Great question. Great question. So templates are like individual emails. So this, what we're writing here, we should call template in a sequence. A sequence is a combination of multiple templates.
Yeah. So ideally, could we have set this up as a template and then opened a sequence and just picked which templates go in which order?
Bingo.
Okay.
Absolutely. So first name, cool. My name is blank, and I'm a current, just measured twice, cut once, a pizza. I'm a current college student as well as a training to invest. We've helped over 40,000 apply for financial aid, find customer scholarships, and understand their financial aid packages. I'm reaching out to see if you would like us to host a free. So let's bold that. What your students will know after an XML fast forward shot. All right, so how do we make sure that she's obviously seen on this? Okay, cool.
That's Brad.
I saw.
Cool. Watching Ryan type, watching Ryan type, watching Ryan type. Cool. Okay. So this is the sequence. Great. Cool. Confirm. And we want Kelly dot healer next gen best.com to be CC'd on all this stuff. Great, cool. Log into Salesforce. Done. Great. So we've now created the sequences. Oh, look at that. It's already there. Okay. Share with me for my sequences. Great. So the sequence is set. Now we are going to get ready for it. Import the list. Big list. Look at that. We've automatically removed some recipients for you, 4 dupes. Great, cool. Okay, got it. Thank you very much. So then we're going to go into edit stages just to double check. And so we've got all these individuals. So hey, Aaron, there we go. Sandra, okay, cool. So it's running a little slow because we have so many in here. I'm a little concerned that there's no easy way to remove I want to make sure we don't get over the 300 limit. So
once we hit that 300 limit, the 301st email will not be sent, will be marked as spam, or will be put on like a probation.
So there's no right answer for that. What it is that like Google is known to have an algorithm that hunts for accounts that do this. So it could mark your whole account as spam. It's not gonna like not send the 301st email. So we're playing with like making sure that we're reaching right up to the edge, but not going over the edge. All right, so I've got to rethink this. How many people were in this list here? So this contact, so this was 378. So we've got to remove, let's call 79 of them just to make sure we're feeling okay about it. So let's go back into my first name. Oh, what's this? See? Hi, miss. What is this? Zamtinoia? Okay. Okay.
Maybe the original template wasn't edited in the sequence.
No. It's funny. How did this slip through? Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going. Got the kids on the phone. All right. So this person, okay. So let's go back here. It's moving really slow. Yeah, it's a little annoying to see how slow this is moving. What would you get? Any human cupcakes? You're the best.
Down.
I saw you, sweetie.
I would appreciate you mailing me one.
No problem, George. You got it. The wife's on it right now. She bought one for the dog. I don't see why she can't buy one for you.
We're a family of 6, just letting you know. We have a dog and a cat.
I'll get right on it.
Okay, this is remarkably slow.
you want yours, honey?
I'll have mine a little bit. Thank you.
That's it, just one.
All right. This is unfortunately moving at a crazy slow pace. All right, seems to have loaded fine. Okay, so guys, put your eyes on this first name category here and make sure that we don't, because I caught that one misses, which I think slipped through the crack. So let's just make sure, keep your eyes peeled, that there are no more as we're going down here. It's going to be a little slow, so I apologize for it. Actually, you know what we're going to do? We're going to clear these recipients. We're going to go back to this list. We go. Be her. We're going to run this by first name. This way we know where we start. Okay, so there's duplicates here. Got it, cool. And then we get to the M's. So we got no Mr. or Mrs. So you guys see like the strategy here? It's like, so one, we got to cut it off at 300 people. So I need a mechanism to understand where I stop the list at. And then so by doing it alphabetically, that helps me do that just quicker. And then to try to figure out if there's any more Mr. or Mrs. laying around here.
Passed over 2 of them.
Yeah, look at that. Boom, boom, boom. Cool.
So do apostrophes and hyphens make any weird fuzzy marks when you actually put them in for an email to be sent out?
Good question. I do not think that they do, because the test email I used was mine and I have an apostrophe in mine.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, here. All right. Cool. Great. Now we're going to go and we'll do the last 375. So we'll just say, okay, action, 75 selected. And I want to remove them. Now I remove them. Hold on a second here. What's also nice here is that when you click on any of these notes, any of these emails in Salesforce, it'll automatically, if you just want to email them directly in Mixmax, I can automatically send Sarah this note. I can send her any templates that I want. I can send her, I can insert a template. I can insert, so yeah. So this GIF.
So you filtered addresses to have the @ sign in it, right?
Yes.
Okay, good, because I know like some of the contacts or like the rows, they have a link to a form rather than an actual address that we can directly email.
Got it. All right, cool. So yeah, that's all been filtered out here. All right, so let's see here. Rebecca, let's see here. Rebecca new. All right, let's just see what happens when we delete her. Sure, yeah. Okay. Okay, I think the best way to go about this is to download it as a CSV and then cut off the 300 and then import it. So that's what we'll have to do here. So action, new contact, add campaign, create a new view.
My dog stole a papaya.
No.
Oh my god.
Are they allergic?
What happened?
Are they allergic?
I had no clue. I'm just gonna throw something before my dad finds out.
You better Google that, man. How do I export this into a CSV? I don't understand why this is so hard. Okie dokie. Oh, this is amazingly slow. All right. Okay. All right. So we got hi, first name. Okay, cool. And now, all right, let's just try to add the recipients here this way. I really want to get this where we're just doing a mass.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lemoned up red onion and fried sweet potato on a sweet roll.
That sounds disgusting.
Yeah. And dogs can't eat papaya, they can't eat the seeds. But in small portions.
Got it. See, babe, the more you know. Okay.
weren't you just eating? Why are you eating again?
This answers the question why I'm getting fat.
Yes. To export, you can choose to, how do I export context and stuff? Okay. That's really annoying. So there is no way to, I have to turn this view into a report and then export it into a CSV and then upload that. Otherwise, I have to literally go and like delete these manually one by one so I don't hit the 300 limit. So
You're saying you're trying to like essentially copy and paste it onto another sheet so you can get to count and then put it back in?
yeah, so I want to get this view here, right? So what I'm doing now is, so if it was under 300, I wouldn't care, right? I just say, okay, add the mix max, fire off, let's go. But we're at 374, right? So that puts us at risk of getting pinged. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to just like, how do I just remove, these from this list, and then, like get it underneath 300 and then import it into Mixmax. And there's no way to do that from this page. What I have to do is what it looks like here is I have to run a report. So we'll do a new report. We'll just whip this up really quick. So school contacts, create, no thanks. So my schools, we'll do all schools. We'll say date created from, and then we'll have account owner. Let's see here, account name. Let's have contact information. So let's see here. Residential schools. Okay, this is not the report on additional school. Schools and contacts. Contacts and schools. This is what we want. Cool. So here we go. Boom, boom, boom. We don't need this. Remove this column. I'm going to go and this is going to be a whole thing. So add filters, click add. Okay, so city. So the billing city equals, and we'll just say contains. So those are the four, I believe, we inputted. When did we upload? Oklahoma. And then we'll say, okay, cool. and first name. Does not contain anything else we need in this report? Title, we don't need title. Don't need mailing street. We don't need state. Don't need zip. Don't need this. Don't need this. Don't need this. Don't need this. Yeah. Contact and email contains. That's cool. And then we'll run a report. Cool. Yes, how many records are this? 268 records. Beautiful. Great. Support the details into a comma delineated format. Great. Okay, so now we have the first name, last name, email, cool, account owner, account. Okay, cool. That's literally all I need. This is great. Where was this? Okay, so importing from Salesforce, we hit a snag because we hit the file limit. So I just ran a report, created it into a CSV, and so I'm going to upload that instead. So hopefully this doesn't give us any grief. Let's see. Okay, email, first name, account name, cool, mailing city, great, counter, great, cool. Edit stages. So 265 recipients, great, cool. So now we do this, and we can see, hey, Rebecca, cool. Hey, Gwen. Hi, Gwen. My name is George, and I'm a current. Look at all that. Beautiful, Erica. Look, George is missing this magical moment, dude.
And can you share sequences between accounts?
You can. Erica, you got all the right questions. You know that? Seriously.
I ask good questions too.
Shut up, George. Hey, buddy, you're great. You guys are both awesome. Seriously, and thanks for putting up with this little technical delay. But you see now how we're working through here now? We're kind of ripping through. Hey, Carmen. Hey, cool, cool. Hi, Amanda. Awesome. So now we've what was this? Okay, cool. They just had a weird name. That's fine. Hi, Mohammed. Hi, Newman. Great, cool, cool. Bueno. Cool. So confirm and activate. Ooh, we're getting close, guys. We're getting close. Oh, You guys should be a little more excited. All right. So share this sequence. We'll do that in a second because you guys aren't even added yet. So we're not going to do that yet. So we're going to track all this automatically tracks. The opens, replies are always tracked, clicks and downloads. We're going to log in all the Salesforce, sync to Mixmax, allows senders to add recipients who have already received the sequence, but it doesn't matter. These settings are not shared with your team. So you are going to be CCing Kelly Peeler, show desktop notifications, no, because I don't end up blowing up. And now guess what, guys? We're going to hit the button. We're hitting the button. You ready? 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Please confirm. Yes. Activate it. Activate. Activate. There we go. All right. George is dancing, Erica. Why aren't you dancing? Show me your dance, Erica.
Like the computer's going a little slow.
All right. Okay, cool. So that was unbelievably long to get to this point, but all right, there we go. 324.
Why is it scheduled for 3:24?
Because
it's automatically doing. Okay, yeah, I see.
he done goofed.
There we go. Cool. Great. It's just taking a minute for it to get going.
Oh God, I'm getting emails. Oh God. Oh God. Oh God. Automatic responses. Oh God.
What's happening?
I'm getting the stupid out of office reply. So I'm gonna filter them. So if they say out of office or automatic reply : I'm gonna put it into a new folder so it doesn't break me.
Oh, wait.
Summertime, lots of schools. That makes sense.
Boom, 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 boom. Great. Awesome, guys. This is cool. So now look, so now let's look back at the screen real quick here. So I want to show you another cool trick. So for both looking, we can see here that if we roll over, so one of the things that Mixmax automatically does is it brings in Salesforce into your Gmail. So this is going to be incredibly helpful for you. So as opposed to working and updating records within Salesforce itself, like going back in here and going into the contacts, you can just do that straight from within Gmail. So if I needed, so this guy, Margaret, okay, all the account information, if anything here needed to change, like I needed to edit this information, like put her phone number in, put her title in, put her title category in, she's a one-goal teacher, whatever, I can do that. I'm going to cancel it, but if I have saved contact, it's going to go right back into Salesforce and update the record in the Salesforce, so there's no need to do it. Again,
yep, signature shows position, contact, school.
Right.
So I can just confirm it for those.
Beautiful. Yeah. So let's do that right now. So I'll be out. Cool. So she's assistant principal of student support services. Great. Just copy paste it. So there. Great. Cool. What's her direct number? Boom. Great.
Oh,
awesome.
got it. Oh, got
Title
it.
category. So what would we put her in? So she's student support services. So would she be like a college advisor or a counselor?
I would say student support services. Can we make another one?
What would you make?
Support service.
But is that like a broad category that's going to be used a lot, or is it fall into a more generic bucket?
It's actually used mainly for people who need help with career, with internships.
So it's called, called student support services?
Yeah.
It's not, it wouldn't fall into college advisor, it wouldn't fall into counselor?
Alka, who was the support service in our school?
We have a support service?
Never mind then.
I was only in there for like 2 years. Doesn't count.
Okay, they'll just put under counselor then.
Okay. Great. And
That's
now
what
we're going to the contact, and now that record is automatically updated in Salesforce.
Okay.
Beautiful. Right? So now it's just because this next gen, the success of this company is going to live and die with the quality of its underlying data. This is the foundation. So anytime we can get in there, that's what we're going to do. All right?
Have fun doing that, sweetie, at your email.
Oh, God.
Yeah, right. So now Miss Erica.
Yes.
So it's now 3:00. What I'd like to do is you have your email activated. Are you good on NextGenVest?
Yeah.
What is your email address?
Erica.chyr@nextgenvest.com.
CHYR.
Mhm.
How do you pronounce that?
Cheer.
Sheer?
Mhm.
Erica. Yippee!
Okay, now you got 28 replies where it just said
Not found.
email address not found. So in this instance,
We just delete them.
well, yeah, it could be just because they're not like,
They got fired.
oh, maybe they got fired, yeah.
Yeah. Because I know like teachers work
It
on.
looks like I went through. So you just got one.
Oh, that's Are you looking at center inbox?
Inbox.
Okay, that's like a whole subject line. Like, who did you message under that subject? And it shows-
Okay, cool. So you only have one mail delivery system where
Yeah.
this is not found. So
If
just go in.
If the address not found, it will show that as the sender or the responder.
Cool.
Otherwise, then it's successful.
Great. Boom, 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 boom.
Now we just give it time for their things to go kick in.
Great. So now what we're going to do, Erica, is do you have Mixmax downloaded on
Yeah.
into your Gmail? You're all set there? Cool. Have you been added to a team?
No, I just did the free trial just so I can start playing with it.
All right, cool. So I'm going to add you to a team, and then so you should be able to have access to this shared sequence. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to go through so many out of office replies. We're going to go through a new batch of schools. So I want to make sure that like what we're doing is called an account-based method. So an account-based method of sales means each salesperson is handling a very specific account, right? So it would be weird if George is working on one school and you're also emailing people in that school, right? So we want to keep that like George will own that school's relationship, just like you'll own another school's relationship, right? Mm-hmm. So the George, have we confirmed like the Erica and what's the other girl's name?
Adeline.
Are they going to be also like once? So the booking process, once they agree to do a workshop, are you seeing that process through of coordinating with a financial workshop leader?
That's not me. My thing is just doing initial outreach and responding if I do get a response in that time. Otherwise, it's the CT handoff. Any booking will be managed by them in their cities.
And so Erica is a CT. She's on the CT team.
Yes.
Got it. So anytime somebody says I want to book an event, you pass that off, and Erica does the coordination between the workshop leader and the school. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Cool. That's super helpful.
More work for you.
Yeah. Well, you got to travel the country and go visit these guys in person. So.
Yeah.
Have fun having the energy.
Enjoy the Holiday Inn in Milwaukee.
I need a successor in case like something happens to me.
We'll have it if Jorge gets hit by a autobus plane.
Yeah. Or someone like.
All right. So we got those first 300 out. Let's take a break. I need some food. Erica, what's the rest of your afternoon looking like?
I just have a shift at 11, but I can force them to get me out of it. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I'm free today.
Okay, you have a shift at 11. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, so as next steps, because I have to go now import a whole bunch of more data in the Salesforce to give you emails to go ping. I'm going to get you set up on Salesforce, so you'll see an invite there. I'll get you invited to the Mixmax team, so you'll be squared there. And then I'll start importing a bunch more schools so we can do that list again. and like these will be like under your ownership, so you'll own the account. Cool.
Okay.
All right. So why don't we plan to reconvene in an hour?
Awesome. Okay, I'll send you the links like 5 minutes before.
What links? Oh, to this. Thanks. Cool. Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome.
Ciao.
Adios.
Thus concluding Ryan Time Part 2.